Jefferson near side left. And here's a bootleg out to the right. Cousins up in the pocket, got a lot of time, going down the field and deep, and it is a picked off ball by Grady Williams. Grady Williams intercepted it as he fought with Adam Thielen for the ball and came out with it.
Going on the field is interception.
Grady Williams is back.
Welcome back, Greedy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week, another episode of the Sunday Showdown, presented to you by the Fifth Quarter. Another winning week for the Browns. Wasn't pretty, but hey, to me a W is a W. I don't give a shit how we get it. I don't care if we got to cheat. As long as they don't find out, whatever. Got some good shit to talk about. Last week's recap, this week's preview, question of the week, the whole nine. Starting off, jump right into it. Question of the week. This is a good one. This is a real good one. With Baker Mayfield potentially still banged up in last week's poor performance, would you consider benching him for the Chargers game to get him fully healthy? 21% of the people said, I think you have to. 79% of the people said, hell no, you're on crack. And that 79% of the people, I am one of them. Because, and I want to look and see just how many people clicked that you have to. Okay, so 21% out of 63 people, 21% of them said you have to bench Baker Mayfield. Not sure what that number is. I'm not doing the math. I just want to know why. I don't know.
13 people.
Seek help. Those must be people that still aren't 100% on the Baker Mayfield train. That don't care about the playoff win and how we performed in the playoffs last year. They just don't give a shit about that. So I don't know. I have no words. You know what I mean? To say. How could you possibly want to bench Baker Mayfield? Not saying that Case Keenum is absolutely atrocious, because he's not. It's not like it's a Houston Texans situation where Davis Mills is the dumpster juice in a fucking waste management bin. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
I just don't get it. I mean, I could see, I don't know. I don't see benching him coming into this week's game. If he gets hurt, whatever. But at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield knows his body. Yeah. And if he wants to go out there and play and he has a warrior spirit, I'm not going to knock him for that. And I'm not going to judge his performance with an injury. You know what I mean? Especially from multiple people that I know that talked about having a partially torn labrum. How bad that shit hurts, regardless if it's his throwing hand or not. I mean, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I partially tore mine a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Playing softball. I mean, it's definitely no joke. It was my left arm, wasn't my right arm. It hurt. I mean, it definitely didn't feel good.
Yeah.
But I wore a sling for a month, but you just get used to it. I mean, granted, I wasn't playing a contact sport. Milo fully tore his labrum. I mean, he was out for months. That's a full tear. But, yeah, I mean, I two things I want to bring up with this is, one, it's not his throwing shoulder. If it was his throwing shoulder, I would say, okay, that's his throwing shoulder. Obviously, he needs to heal it. It's not. It's his left shoulder. Yeah, he's wearing a brace now. So I think it's more of a matter of getting used to wearing it. I'm sure it doesn't feel good. I'm sure it's not comfortable. He's going to have to get used to wearing it with his throwing motion and things like that. And the second point is, this just came out today. He's been hurt since the Houston game. So second half against Houston, he only missed one pass, so I'm sure he was wearing something on his arm. And the whole game against Chicago, he missed a couple throws, but he wasn't too off. They still won by 20, Obviously last week, he looked, you could tell he was missing throws. All three of those games after he hurt his shoulder, because he hurt his shoulder on the play they threw the pick, He hasn't turned the ball over once. So, I think it's a matter of him getting used to this brace. I'm sure it's heavier. He's got to, put a little bit more into it when he's turning or opening up his arm or whatever the mechanics of it are.
Right.
He's going to get used to it. You know what I mean? So if he says he can play, he can practice. They didn't even have him on the injury report until that leak came out today. If he was hurt, he wouldn't play. If he was that hurt, he wouldn't even play. However, if we were playing, I don't know, the Lions or the Jaguars or the Texans or something like that, yeah, I would kind of be like, okay, let me sit down and actually think about, well, we could probably bench him this game and let him fully get healthy to win. We're playing the damn Chargers.
Yeah.
You can't sit him against the Chargers. You're going to get your ass kicked. Like whether he's throwing the ball 25 times or not, if we trot Case Keenum out there, they're going to stack the box and we're going to have 50 yards rushing and no passing touchdowns, and our highest receiver is going to have 2 catches. You just can't do that. Yeah, he's a little banged up, but they still got to prepare for Baker Mayfield. He may come out and play a lot better with this brace on now. It's game 3 and be just fine. So I think it's stupid to say, yeah, you have to bench him against I don't want to call it a must-win game, but it's a statement-making game where if you can beat a team like the Chargers who just beat the Chiefs, they're solidifying themselves even more. And sorry, you're not going to do that with Case Keenum.
No. And it's not anything against Case Keenum. People got to understand that. It's just let Baker Mayfield play. Like I said, it really comes down to it's his body. He knows, you know what I mean? He knows when he's going to be able to play, when he's not going to be able to play. And I don't know. I posted a post that, he had an ugly game, but coming into this game, he was top 5 in completion percentage, which I don't understand the whole, let's just say Baker Mayfield wasn't injured, right?
Yeah.
Which we didn't know. There were a couple people that assumed he was still banged up, whatever. Even if he wasn't injured at all, one bad game's not going to make me hate Baker Mayfield or want to bench him. Because there were people that were saying bench him before the injury even came out. After one bad game. And it just makes me wonder, if any
people
other
have such a short leash for Baker.
Compared to every other quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's weird. And then, another thing I said was somebody was talking about, somebody in the comments was talking about, Baker Mayfield had 2 picks and 2 touchdowns through 3 games, may have yards, but Baker isn't the one putting points on the board. That's average at best. And it's just I don't know. And then he was saying his QBR for this season is 50. And I'm just but one of those interceptions that he has wasn't his fault. And he's not turning the ball over and making stupid mistakes.
Right.
Up until last week. So what's the deal? People weren't talking shit about Baker Mayfield until this past game.
It's because he's not throwing touchdowns. That's what it is. They look at his comparison touchdown interception ratio. It's 2 and 2 or 3, maybe 3 and 2 now. Yeah. But they don't look at the reason why we're not throwing the ball. Look at Nick Chubb's rushing stats. Look at Kareem Hunt's rushing stats. That's why. We're 3 and 1. If we were 1 and 3 and Baker had, a 50% passer rating or QBR or whatever it is, and Nick Chubb wasn't scoring, Kareem Hunt wasn't doing anything, then you could say, okay, Baker Mayfield's not getting the job done. He doesn't need to. We haven't had a game yet this year except for Kansas City where we had to rely on more than the run game. Didn't need to do it against Houston. We saw that. Didn't need to do it against Chicago. And we really didn't need to do it against Minnesota because our defense played so lights out.
And another thing is, where do people be getting these numbers? Because looking at his everything, 64 or 66% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he has a QBR of 89. Yeah. That's through 4 games this season. 89.7. Where do people be getting their fucking information on Baker Mayfield? You know what I'm saying? And if you look at Nick Chubb, let me see. Nick Chubb has 3 rushing touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt has What does he have? 3 as well?
I'm not sure.
He has 3 as well. 3 rushing touchdowns as well. So that accounts for 6 of our touchdowns. Baker Mayfield has the other 2. I mean, what's the deal, man?
Right. And
You know
like I
what
said,
I mean?
we haven't had to. KC is the only game that we really had to say, okay, we need to do more than to run the ball to win this game, which we really didn't at the time. We shot ourselves in the foot, so we really didn't need to throw it towards the end. We should have already had the game wrapped up, but that's neither here nor there. We haven't had to. This week we will, I feel like, definitely. But
So there's a 9-way tie for 4th place in rushing touchdowns, and both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are on there.
yeah.
Just goddamn, Sam Darnold has 5 rushing touchdowns. He's leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Sorry, I don't mean to. Holy shit. Anyway, I mean, God, now you want me to. Now I want to jump in and talk about this week's games, but we'll save that. We'll jump into last week's game. Let me see. Let me pull up my. Let me pull up the stats. It wasn't a pretty game. You know, our defense played fucking amazing. And I don't even want to say it wasn't a pretty game because our defense played like the best defense in the NFL. Am I wrong?
Oh, absolutely right.
In the last three quarters. Because in the first quarter, they came down through that touchdown, Justin Jefferson.
On the first drive, they didn't do anything after that. Literally nothing.
Yeah. So yeah. Nick Chubb rushed for 100 yards on 21 rushes. Kareem rushed for 69 yards on 14 rushes. Both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb averaged 4.8 and 4.9 yards per carry. Kareem had another touchdown. Didn't we have 2 this past week, or did we hit a bunch of field goals?
No, we had another touchdown. I don't remember who scored it, but.
Huh. It's not saying.
Kareem Hunt. Oh, no. We had a 2-point conversion. Yeah, it was 2 field goals.
And then 2 field goals. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, but either way, just keep feeding the ball. You know what I mean? Keep running the ball. It's worked through, look at the first game. Literally every game this year.
Yeah.
First game, we ran the ball down the Chiefs' neck. First drive of the game, Nick Chubb runs a touchdown, which they don't have a great rushing defense either. Same thing with what is it? Houston, and then same thing with the Bears. And
they had a good rush defense.
Yeah, it just goes back to the Baker thing. Like, we don't have to throw the ball. Baker Mayfield doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game. Maybe other quarterbacks do, but he doesn't have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he can be fine with this injury and still play. Yeah. And it makes me wonder if that's why he's still playing, because of we just have a great run game. And if our defense steps up, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Speaking of defense played good again this game. Great. Malcolm Smith had 8 tackles, stepped up with Anthony Walker out. Troy Hill, 4 tackles. Myles Garrett had a sack. Tack McKinley had a sack. Denzel Ward had half a sack. I mean, Greedy Williams had 6 tackles. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah fucking played lights out. 7 tackles. He's the highest graded linebacker among rookies. Maybe among all linebackers.
I think it's among all, yeah.
So, and people want to talk about, not even talk about, but talking about people passing him up. He's the biggest steal of the draft, possibly. That dude should have went in the first round, 100%. Easily. There's no reason why the Browns should have him right now, but we do, and I'm not going to complain. So, I don't know if you want to touch on how our secondary played. I don't really recall.
I mean, they played good. Greedy had a pick, a game-sealing pick. Even.
Yeah.
Cousins was 20 of 38, 203 yards, and a touchdown. But he's been playing really good. Justin Jefferson's been playing good. Thielen's been playing good. Aside from that first drive, Like Jefferson went 6 for 84 and a touchdown. That's kind of what he does. He's a great receiver. They didn't do anything on offense. Thielen was, some plays that were broken up. Grant Delpit had a crazy deflection on Adam Thielen where he dove and blocked that.
I remember that. Yep.
They just played all around great. A lot of it was because of our defensive front, who held Dalvin Cook to 9 carries, 34 yards.
34 yards.
That's
arguably the
insane.
best running back in the league.
They 64 yards total between him and Alexander Madsen, who lit it up last week. He had like 130 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, I don't know who they played, but so they did very, very well. It was an all-around defensive game. Everybody did their job. There wasn't very many mistakes except for that first drive where John Johnson and Denzel Ward were kind of looking at each other when Jefferson kind of snuck in between them, but
made adjustments and didn't happen again.
And then they did nothing after that, literally nothing. Yeah. So I'll take it. I mean, you're going to have to do it again. Every week they're playing a better offensive team, it seems like. But
hey, the past 2 weeks our defense has progressed. I mean, even I said, like we talked about last week, has Joe Woods figured it out? This helps.
It's starting to look like it.
Helps his fucking case. There's some plays, a handful of plays, 3 or 4, where you're just like, what?
Every team has that though.
What are you doing?
Find me a team that doesn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then overall, it's like, oh yeah.
I will say, if you can have your quarterback have as off as a day as Baker did, and still win, I'll take that every day. Not every day, but I'll take it. 2 years ago or 3 years ago before we had Baker, we'd have lost this game.
Oh my God.
Probably would have got blown out.
Oh my God,
so
dude.
there would have been fumbles.
What would have Brian Hoyer done?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Probably would have had 3 picks.
And it's not even on the quarterback. It's like just the all-around team. We didn't have a defense like this. We didn't have a run game like this.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm not saying I wish Baker has a bad game. That's not what I'm saying. But for you to have that bad of a game, or what people are claiming that bad of a game, and still win the game, that's all that should matter.
And another thing is like Browns fans, we've become so
fickle. So fickle.
Like, humble yourself as a Browns fan.
Like, I see a lot of people's reasoning is, we gotta be held to a higher standard. We're not the same old Browns. No, we're absolutely not. I get that 100%, but let's calm down a little bit. We made the playoffs last year. We won 1 playoff game and then we lost. So it's not like we were a Super Bowl contender 3-4 years in a row. Patriots, Chiefs, Packers.
Right.
Those teams. We're not there yet. So we're on our way there, but let's still humble ourselves a little bit because we still have some improvement to do. Yes, we need to be held to a higher standard than 0-16. But I'm not saying we need to go 17-0 and blow out everybody. That's just not how the NFL works. Yeah,
it's like, I don't know. We start out 3-1. Baker Mayfield has a bad game, whatever. Browns are still 3-1. We're tied for first in the division. I mean, what more do you want, dude? Like,
in the wise words of Aaron Rodgers,
relax. We said the same shit last year, man. The same fucking shit last year. And Browns fans are so wishy-washy.
They're fickle, bro.
You know what I mean? Maybe that means the same as wishy-washy because I don't know what the fuck fickle means. Excuse my language, but
like they're never satisfied. They're fickle.
Never.
Like
they're
they can have
always
everything
gonna find
they want,
something
and
to,
they're still
if it's
not
if
happy.
it's Baker Mayfield having a good game. Oh, Baker Mayfield doesn't play good with Odell, or
he misses 1 throw to Odell. He could throw 3 touchdowns this week. If he misses 1 to Odell, it's Baker. He can't hit Odell. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah. And then if the offense plays good, fire Joe Woods. Joe Woods.
Yeah, bro.
Like what the fuck
can't
do
we just
people
be happy? Like, do you want to go back to 16? Do you want Hugh Jackson and Johnny Manziel and all these other fucking quarterbacks back? Like,
people act like it should be a norm, like that we should all just forget because the Browns were good last year. We went fucking 8-8 or 7-9 2 years ago, and that we're this god team, like we're the Chiefs or like, you know what I mean, or the Packers who have been good consistently. Or the Patriots before Tom Brady left. Like, we are not those teams.
Not yet.
The Seahawks. No. We are not those teams. We go to the playoffs this year. Next year, you know what I mean? We continue to have a positive record. Then I'll hold the Browns to a higher standard. But we're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with holding them to a higher standard, but don't hold them to a higher standard of, like, those teams. there's nothing wrong with wanting to do better than you did the year before. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that for your team.
No, for sure.
But just because we went 11-5, you can't be like, oh, we're the Chiefs now. That's just not how it works.
Another thing that people have to remember is hold your team to a higher standard, but teams have bad games. You know what I mean? Teams have bad games. Players have bad games. You know what I mean? I don't see the hassle for Nick Chubb after last week or 2 weeks ago against the Bears. Nick Chubb didn't play good. You don't see people talking about bench Nick Chubb for Kareem Hunt.
Right.
So where's you know what I mean? And it goes back to the whole people put Baker Mayfield on this pedestal because he's, adapted and, just took on that whole, changing the culture thing. So he's always going to take the forefront of, fucking criticism. Every quarterback is. It is what it is. But I don't get the whole, even after one game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
I don't know. Bears fans fucking stood up for Jay Cutler years ago when that motherfucker was terrible. Excuse my language again, but goddamn, Browns fans, you need to relax, man. We could have Jason Campbell back out there in this fucking snap of a finger. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Humble yourself. Cherish what you have while you have it, because there's going to come a time again where the Browns fucking suck. And you're going to be fucking just annoyed that the Browns suck. And guess what? Whose fault is that? Your own, because you didn't cherish when you have a great team, you have a great quarterback and all this other shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
So, I'm not them. I cherish this shit every day. I was a critic of Baker Mayfield last year, and I said if he doesn't have a good season, that we need to look at other options, and he had a great season, and since then I've been all aboard the train. I have been the engineer to that motherfucker. Excuse my language. But I have been engineering that damn train. Shout out to fucking Jay, if your mom's listening. Norfolk Southern, where you at? Give me a job. I'm engineering the Browns hype train. The Baker Mayfield hype train. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my little rant. I know we just kind of took up 2 segments about Baker Mayfield. We didn't really talk about last week's game. But overall, it was a boring game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our ground game dominated the game. Receivers didn't do much. Could have done, Hollywood had a good game. 4 catches, 63 yards. Odell got targeted 7 times. I guarantee you 6 out of 7 of those targets were bad throws on Baker Mayfield. Could have had a wide open touchdown if Baker hadn't overthrown him. But, I like the 7 targets for Rashard, 7 targets for Odell Beckham, 5 targets for Hooper. I like our tight ends, Once again, 1 target for Anthony Schwartz. He blew his shot when he had that pick. I'm telling you.
He'll come. I mean, they'll get him involved later on, I'm sure.
Yeah,
they want to. I think they're going to focus on Odell, just to get him back in there.
Yeah. Once Jarvis comes back and we're fully healthy,
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. But like I said, overall boring game. Great play by the defense. Got to keep it up this week. Speaking of this week, let's talk about this week, shall we? So we got Browns versus the Chargers in LA at 4:05. Kind of sucks because I got to work nights. So I leave the house about 5:15, so I'll be able to watch the first hour, which, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, Browns versus Chargers. Chargers have been playing lights out coming into this game as underdogs. So coming into this game as underdogs, Justin Herbert's been playing well. But see, the thing is, let me see. Teams are. This is what I was going to say during the opening segment, where I don't think we're going to have to throw the ball on this team. They have the top 3 worst rushing defense in the league. They are 29th in rushing yards against per game. I mean, teams are, and I don't even know who the Chargers have played. So let me look that up real quick. I know you have that written down that they're the worst.
Cowboys, Chiefs, and Raiders. Oh, Washington, Cowboys, Chiefs, Raiders.
and they lost to the Cowboys.
Yep.
Beat the Chiefs, beat Washington, beat the Raiders last week.
3 out of the 4 teams they played don't have good defenses.
Yeah, and Zeke didn't even play well. I mean, not that he didn't play well, but I don't think Zeke ran all over them.
No, he didn't.
Tony Pollard did. 109 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
8 yards carry. And then Zeke had 71 yards, 1 touchdown. So
not too bad. So they were able to run on them.
Yeah. Tony Pollard ran on them. So, yeah. Give me running the ball against them. We're first in the league. We have the best rushing offense in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, the thing is, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a game of yin and yang. The Chargers are gonna pass the ball like crazy. You know what I mean? Justin Herbert can fire the ball. Secondary's got to step up.
Yeah.
They said Anthony Walker could be back this week. Who else did they say? Did they say Newsom would be back?
No, he's out.
Who did they say was going to play? Who did you just?
Troy Hill's playing. Denzel. They were both questionable at the beginning of the week.
Okay. Yeah, defense has got to step up, man. Secondary's got to step up. We got to get to the quarterback. Justin Herbert,
Don't be afraid to send pressure.
No. I mean, look what happened with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was playing like a top 5 quarterback, stats-wise.
Yeah.
Stats-wise. Don't let me get carried away or, take my words for what they're not. He was playing well. And what did I say? Put pressure on him and make him turn the ball
look
over.
Average. Yeah.
Didn't throw a pick until this week against the Browns. Browns made him throw a pick. First pick of the season. Got, I think it was like 3.5 sacks we got on him. Put pressure on him, though. You know what I mean?
He was pressured all game, though. Even when he was throwing incomplete, he was under duress.
Yeah. And I don't think the Chargers have played. Washington has a decent defense, maybe. Just their defensive front.
Yeah.
Dallas.
No.
Okay. They got better than what it was last year, but it's not the Browns' defense. Kansas City's defense, I don't think, is better than the Browns.
Kansas City defense is worse than a Pee Wee football team defense.
Neither is the Raiders. So, like I said, man, secondary's got to step up, and then we're just got to run the ball on them. That's really, we're second in the league in sacks. We got 14, which is fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, bro. Half of those sacks came in that game against the Bears.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chargers, yeah, they're giving up 5 yards per rush. The Cowboys, ran the ball over them. 3 out of their 4 games have been decided by 4 points or less. I don't know.
We can beat this team.
100%. This team's not better than the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs, but I don't think they're better than the Chiefs.
No, I mean, the game plan should be simple, like you said.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. Don't be afraid to hit play action.
Right.
I mean, you have to. You can't be completely predictable. You still got to keep them on their toes a little bit, but their defense isn't all that great. They have Derwin James, who's a safety, but we have the weapons to spread it around. I mean, it doesn't have to be a 40-yard bomb to Odell. It can be a play action tight end drag across the field, get 5-7 yards, whatever, bring it back and run it second and third, run the ball. You know what I mean? Like, there's things you can do. It doesn't have to be bomb play every single time. Like, you keep a good offense off the field by running the football. So do that. We know their rush defense isn't good. Unless, they may show up this week. They may not. They haven't yet. It's been 4 weeks. So take advantage of that. You have 2 running backs, different style running backs, so you can make them, you can make defense pay by running Nick Chubb in between the tackles, running off tackle with Kareem Hunt, sprinkling a play action. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make it sound simple, but that's how I look at it in my head. Right. And then defense has to just show up. Defense shows up. We're in a good position.
To me, it's not about the offense. It's about the defense. Defense is going to win this game. Yeah. Offense is going to show up. Browns are going to put points on the board, whether it's rushing the ball or whether Baker Mayfield's, his shoulder feels better and he's more accurate, which I think he will be. But it's not about that. It's about the defense. Yeah. It's about,
What I really want to see, and what is going to be an interesting quote unquote matchup is Jeremiah Owusu on Austin Eckler. Because we know Austin Eckler is a great running back, scat back, whatever you want to call him. He doesn't really run in between the tackles all that much. A lot of what he does is he bounces it out. If we have a guy on the edge, kind of on the edge, who can get to the edge fast enough, like Joke, who can catch Eckler in the hole before he gets around the defensive lineman, gets around the outside, and is running down the sideline. We've never had that before. You know, he can probably run stride for stride with Austin Eckler, if we're being honest. I mean, I can look up to 40 times, but I bet you it's pretty close. You know, we have that now.
Right.
You know, we have Clowney on the other side. If they want to, run away from Myles Garrett, good luck. You know, like the guy has a wingspan of something with a long wingspan. You know, like it's going to be hard to get all the way around Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett and Jeremiah Owusu.
I seen, like, last week, dude, the Browns had Tack McKinley, Jadeveon Clowney on one side, and Myles Garrett and, what's his name, Malik? Yeah. McDowell. Like, that's scary.
Yeah,
Tack McKinley is good.
Tack
McKinley is good. I think people forget, or not forget, but people don't realize that Tack McKinley he's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? I mean, you take some pressure off him and put it on, you know, Clowney or Myles Garrett. Him and McDowell are going to make you pay. You know?
Oh, 100%.
So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, what does the Chargers like pass protection look like?
The Chargers? I mean, they're not bad. They have Rashawn Slater, who's a rookie, who's going to be a fantastic matchup to watch him try and block Myles Garrett. He's good, don't get me wrong, but hasn't faced anybody yet this year like Myles Garrett. I probably won't the rest of the year after they play us. So that'll be interesting, you know. But outside of him, I think they're just good. You know, like they haven't played anybody spectacular on the defensive front, so I haven't heard much about him. But I'm definitely looking forward to Myles Garrett going against a rookie.
Give me Myles Garrett every day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's been unstoppable. It doesn't matter who's blocking him.
Yeah.
Or who's attempting to block him. You could bring a tight end over, like we saw against Chicago, and he's just going to bullet right by him.
Good luck. Speaking of that, you seen the play from last week?
Oh, yeah.
The one I sent in the chat? ESPN posted it, too. He's literally overpowered, like, you know what I mean? He's
going to wreak some havoc.
He might lead the league in sacks this year. I mean, he's leading the league right now.
I want to see, like, some free blitzes by, you know, how they sprinkle in the Denzel Ward blitz or the Ronnie Harrison or Grant Delpit. I think Harrison's back this week, too, I think. So
they said he doesn't have a concussion.
Good. Yeah. So Troy Hill from the slot, you know, like, don't be afraid to send some of those fast guys who the tackle has to block Myles Garrett with a guard. No one's going to block the guy running off the edge. We've seen it every time they do it. No one can catch up because they're too busy double teaming Clowney and Garrett.
Yeah.
And Joke, obviously. Bring him off the edge, too, if you have a chance.
Gosh.
There was a play. Too, if they're bringing blitzes, if Austin Eckler's in the backfield, I'll take Ronnie Harrison coming on a blitz against Austin Eckler every single day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day. He's not big enough. I mean.
No. Hell no.
They say, I was watching the game last week, they call him PFP, pound for pound, is what they call him because I guess he's really strong. But I'm like, dude, he's 5'8". Like, come on.
Austin Eckler.
The guy's good, don't get me wrong. I like the way he plays, but
yeah,
he ain't gonna stop a free blitz coming. You know, Ronnie Harrison's a big dude. Delpit's a big dude. Jeremiah Owusu's a freaking tank. Good luck.
Yeah, you might get in the way, and, you know, I don't know. He might not you might not get blown up. Austin Eckler might not get blown up, but you're for sure getting pushed back. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're gonna get lit up. What was I gonna say? There was just something I was gonna say, and I literally forgot. Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins got smoked a couple times last week. He was getting knocked around.
Did, dude.
So Justin Herbert better be. You know, I know he's not a rookie, but this might be your welcome to the NFL game as a sophomore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then the last thing before we move on, do we see Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham connect this week?
I think we do. Part of the reason, like I said, he's going to be, you know, game 3 with the brace, and there's a lot of pressure on it. Not that he's going to force it to Odell. I just think it's due time for something like that to happen, just for people to shut the fuck up. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be a 40, 50-yard touchdown, but I could see them connecting. He may score finally, and I think that would be enough. You know, like, they're not going to force it. I think they're smart enough to not do that. But I think this is the week we could finally see it.
I hope so. I won't be upset if we don't see it, though. I mean,
even if he doesn't score, I want to see them connect. You know, target throw passes on target. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6 catches for 70 yards or 60 yards, whatever. I want to see Baker throw the ball and Odell be able to catch the ball. You know, like, that's really all I'm asking for. You know, and I think I'll be pleased. You know, because that means, you know, they figured whatever the issues out during practice this week. So I'll take that. But I can see Odell finally getting involved, becoming a threat on the offense like we know he can be.
I would love to see it. I would love to see him have a Cowboys game like he did last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do I think we need it this week? No. So that's why I don't think we'll see it. I mean, we'll see them connect, but I don't think we'll see like a big OBJ game. You know what I mean? So with that, moving on. Let's talk about the next 3 games, not specifically, but just the next 3 games that the Browns have. Looks like it could possibly be the toughest stretch of the season. What are some things that we would like to see? So the Browns are you considering this game, the Chargers game, one of the 3?
Chargers, Cardinals, Broncos.
Yeah. Very tough stretch. Very tough stretch. Next week's game is going to be harder than this week's game, in my opinion. But we'll talk about that next week. One of the things, you know, you wrote down that you want to see, we need offensive consistency from Baker Mayfield. Don't become predictable. I think with Baker Mayfield comes consistency for the most part, assuming he's not injured. I just want to see consistency in, like,
everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, but for sure consistency, because with Baker Mayfield playing good, the whole team plays good, or the whole offense plays good, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Which, that's such a cliche thing to say. It's such an obvious thing to say because the quarterback is the heart of the offense. But yeah, I agree. I would like to see consistency from Baker. You know, don't be out there making stupid mistakes like you did week 1 against the Chiefs, and then we lose, a close game, which, I don't think we didn't see too many of those last year. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe early on in the season, but not towards the end when he was playing phenomenal. You know what I mean? Another thing, need a healthy offensive line. You could see Jedrick Wills was still banged up last week. There was a couple of plays where, he gave up a sack or, gave up some pressure. So, maybe he's another guy we, don't want to say bench because I hate the whole bench. That would make me sound like a hypocrite with the whole Baker thing. Maybe limit his snaps, you know what I mean? Split his snaps or split his series with somebody else, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, because I forget who is the guy that comes in that
James
came
Hudson.
in. Yeah. He's a rookie, right?
He's a rookie. He had that one false start, but other than that, I mean, he seemed to do pretty good. Baker didn't get sacked all that much.
Right. So, another thing I want to see, this goes back to don't become predictable. This goes back to the first bullet point. What the fuck is up with going for it on 4th down?
Dude, I don't know.
I get it. Everybody's doing it in the NFL. I've been noticing that. Everybody's been basing it off of analytics. Like, you have a better chance of getting this 4th down than you do, like, preventing the offense from scoring if you punt the ball away.
Right.
But, like, dude, come on. Against the Bears, we got sacked 2 or 3 times on 4th down. We got sacked on their side of the field.
Yeah.
And that's what led them to get, luckily only a field goal, but and then we went for it last week and got sacked. It's like, what the fuck is up with going for it on 4th down? Don't become predictable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to take that to the next step, every single time we've gone for it in the last 2 games, it's been the same type of play. It's a play action, someone comes off the left side, it just
We get
destroys
sacked.
Baker.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go for it, that's fine. If you feel like you can get it, you're on their side of the 50. You don't want to punt it. It's too close, too far to kick a field goal. I get it. Get creative.
But like, yeah, and this is another thing to add on top of that in terms of like, don't become predictable. Don't become predictable, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes, and I'm not a coach, so my opinion is completely holds no weight to it. But sometimes I just really question, we're on the goal line, and we're not running the goddamn ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that too.
It is 1st and goal, and we are passing the ball. Like,
Yeah,
I get it. You don't want to become predictable, and that's pretty predictable. But, like, when you have 2 of the best running backs in the league, it doesn't matter what
they
you
can't
do.
punch it in from 3 yards out.
You can, like I said, with 2 of the best running backs in the league, I don't care how many times you throw the ball in the red zone and score. Nothing is going to stop you from being predictable when it comes to running the ball in the red zone. Not when you have running backs like that.
Everybody does it.
You know what I
Teams
mean?
with shitty running backs.
I mean, learn your lesson from the Seahawks and Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You don't pass the ball in the red zone. So
Especially that close.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're passing it from the 20. We're like, okay, we got to get closer. We're passing the ball from the 3-yard line.
Literally.
It's 1st and goal, we're throwing the ball. 2nd and goal, we're throwing the ball. Now it's 3rd goal. Now you can't run the ball, so they're throwing it again.
And you got less space because the secondary isn't deep. You know what I mean? They're not as deep as they would be if you're midfield or whatever. So
now, if you run the ball on 1st and 2nd down, you get 2 yards. Now it's 3rd and goal, and they're stacking the box. That's when you break out the play action.
Yeah, why not?
Or a quick throw or a swing pass to the running back or something like that. I mean, I'm not a head coach in the NFL, and you can knock me if you want to and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But I watched a lot of football in my life.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people make the same mistakes, and it seems like the positive of it is just run the football.
That's like the old school, smash mouth way of playing when you have good running backs. Run the ball down their throat, and it works. It works. If there's any advice I'm taking from older people that have been around the block, nothing against them, but when they talk football, man, 9 times out of 10, they know what the fuck they're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. So run the football. Another thing we could talk about, and running the football successfully comes with having a healthy offensive line. You know what I mean? Along with pass protection for Baker Mayfield. Another thing, defense has got to stay hot. They're progressively gotten better the last 2 games. Don't know how much better you can get after last game, or the Bears game. They've played pretty well. And if I had to gauge or rate which game was better in terms of how the defense have played, I wouldn't know which one to pick. Probably the Bears games just because of how many sacks they got, but you could argue that that's not a good enough sample because of the situation. Yeah. So, anyway, defense has got to stay hot. You know what I mean? Myles Garrett's got to stay healthy. Jadeveon Clowney's got to stay healthy. Bring pressure with Jeremiah Owusu. Secondary's got to stay healthy, even though we're deep. You know what I mean? I don't want to rely on them, being deep, but it's like, Greg Newsome goes out, we bring in Greedy Williams. Ronnie Harrison goes out, who do we bring in for him?
Delpit.
Yeah. So, I don't want to say that we can afford that because we can't. You want to stay healthy, you want to stay hot, but
and not every game is going to be a 9-sack game. I get that, but the defense shows up and does their job. Pressure, D-line pressures a quarterback. Linebackers fill the gaps on runs. There's no big runs. Secondary doesn't get beat deep. They break up passes and things like that. No unnecessary pass interference and things like that. That's what I want. That's what I consider as consistent. We're not going to get 9 sacks every game. It's just not going to happen. The Rams don't do that, and they're one of the best defenses in the league. But just don't make a lot of mistakes. I know it's going to happen. You're going to play good teams. I guarantee Justin Herbert's going to throw for a touchdown. He's just that good. They have great weapons. But don't make it a pattern and make up for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what good defenses do.
Yeah, and another thing to add on to the defense, Greg Newsome's got to get healthy. Do you know exactly what his injury is?
No, I don't know. Let me look it up. I thought it was like a calf or something, but
Might actually be on the injury
oh,
report.
actually, it might be a foot because he was in a walking boot whenever the game he got hurt.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly what it is.
It's on the injury report. No, it's not on here.
Calf injury is what it says. I just looked it up on CBS Sports. Yeah.
So. Okay. Hey, another thing, speaking of players to get healthy, Jarvis has got to get healthy. I think he's coming back next week.
I would love it.
Need him for that
We
game.
do. Yeah, we do. He's Baker's, and that's the thing too. Baker, his shoulder, you need a guy who you can throw short passes to, and then Jarvis is that guy.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean,
For
Odell's great, don't get me wrong. He's never made a living off of short passes. It's just not the type of player he is. Higgins has been doing it since we got him, and he's great at it. But having him and Landry would be fantastic. And the tight ends, of course.
Another thing, we're backtracking here, but another thing, Demetric Felton and Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield. Good options, too, that Baker Mayfield missed last week that I think he needs to look for more in terms of, I don't want to say short passes because I feel like these are less than short passes, but there was two big first downs that we needed where Baker Mayfield was scrambling and he just completely missed Felton and Kareem. Yeah. So
high percentage passes.
Yeah, for sure. And I like Felton getting the ball out of the backfield just as much as I like Kareem Hunt getting the ball out of the backfield. So I don't know. That goes back to offensive consistency from Baker. So I don't know. What else you got? Anything?
That's it.
With that being said, we can move on to the fucking fifth quarter segment. The quick picks, locks, and upsets if you want. My favorite segment. Cue the goddamn music. Yeah, so Sean did better than me last week. Was that 2 weeks in a row?
You won last week.
Yeah. So we're 2 for 2 so far this week. I'm probably going to win this week because, that's just what I do. So yeah, Sean won 12-10, whatever, it is what it is. I could take my L's with pride. Going into this week.
That's not the only thing you lost in last week.
Yeah, my fantasy team took a dump, man.
Who did you lose to?
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, boy.
O.J. Simpson.
Yikes.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. You got your locks and upsets or no?
I got my lock. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so my lock this week is going to be... I didn't kind of second guess on myself. Only because I saw what happened last week. Alright, so I'll go with my lock. My lock this week, I'll take the Raiders over the Bears. Raiders, we crack jokes on them all the time. They're not that bad of a team this year. Justin Fields is starting again, but I think the Raiders are going to bounce back from their loss against the Chargers.
They announced Justin Fields is starting?
Yeah, he's starting.
Because they said they were going to start Andy Dalton if he was healthy.
Damn. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Raiders in a bounce back game. It's at home. My upset. Let's take a look here.
Jeez, all these teams are. Oh, I don't mind upset.
Alright, so my upset, and this is the true upset, only because I almost picked them last week and I should have, is the Jets over the Falcons. The Titans offense is much better than the Falcons.
The Titans offense, you said?
Yeah, 100%. They have fucking Derrick Henry. There's no reason why they should have lost that game, and I know A.J. Brown and Julio are both out, but Calvin Ridley is out for the Falcons. So it's in London. It's at 9:30 in the morning. They're going over the pond. Corey Davis is back. Crowder's back. Elijah Moore is back. So they actually have some weapons.
Zach Wilson didn't look terrible last week.
No, he was slinging it, dude. And the Falcons' defense is not good. And it's not a true home game. The Falcons are, they're labeled as home, but it's in London. So I don't know, dude. This is, those games across the pond. You never really know who's going to win those games. It's always kind of two average teams. But I could really see the Jets winning this game, so I'm going to roll with them as my upset.
That's not a bad pick. My lock is going to be, once again, another week, same team. I'm rolling with the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Giants, baby. I was going to pick the Ravens over the Colts, but I feel like the Ravens are just that much better than the Colts. That's an obvious pick. Whereas I truly feel like the Giants could beat the Cowboys. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Giants. It's a more fair lock, in my opinion, than the Ravens over the Colts, if you ask me. My upset, however, this is good. Upset, Bills over the Chiefs.
See, that shouldn't even be an upset. The Bills have a better team right now.
Chiefs are favored to win by 3.5.
That's ridiculous.
Let me make sure it's like that on ESPN because Yahoo Sports sometimes has weird over and unders. You can't trust it.
Yep.
So
this thing I'm on says KC's favored to win too.
Okay, so then I'll take that. So yeah, my upset's going to be the Chiefs. My lock's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Starting right up at the top, we talked about this game last week. Rams versus Seahawks. It's halftime right now. Seahawks are winning 7-3, but Sean and I both picked the Rams. I'm pretty sure, 90% sure that we both picked the Rams last week. I think the Rams pull it out in the second half, although they got smoked last week by the Cardinals. Cardinals did them in. If you remember that game, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got smoked. So, however, like I said, I think they turn around second half. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the over and under for Kansas City is good. So, yeah, that game's going on right now. 7-3. Sean and I both picked the Rams. This next game was your upset, the Jets over the Falcons. Give me the Jets. I'd like the Jets over the Falcons. I got Matt Ryan on my bench this week, and he dropped me a 40-piece last week. Don't see him although that Cordell Patterson, he played very well. He played very well last week, so he could play good this week. But still, give me the Jets. I think they ride that momentum out again this week and beat this below average team. Then we got the Detroit Lions versus the Vikings. I'll take the Vikings over the Lions.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings.
Lions might be the worst team in the NFL.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but they're not very good.
No, statistically, they're the worst team in the NFL.
Worst.
Well, they're 0-4 with the Jags. Still think the Jags have a better team, maybe.
No chance in hell.
We'll see. So yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. The next game then we got, this will be a fucking blowout. Tampa Bay versus Miami. Tua's still out. Give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, definitely Tampa Bay.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay. Then we got the Cardinals. Wow. The Panthers versus the Eagles. Do you know if McCaffrey's back this week?
No, he's not.
Okay. Still, give me the
Doesn't
Panthers.
matter, though. I'm still taking the Panthers.
I'm telling you, man. I didn't like the Sam Darnold versus Baker Mayfield slander. Looking at that draft class, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold hasn't. He's definitely playing a lot better. He just hasn't proven a lot.
It's the Jets. It's the Jets, man. It had to have been the Jets. Now I'm not saying he's like playing great. He ain't Kyler Murray MVP level yet. But no, Sam Darnold's playing very well. He's playing very well. It's proving to you that the Jets are the problem, not Sam Darnold. And it's also proving that quarterback class for that draft class was spectacular. Might be the best quarterback draft class we've seen. Because they all got drafted in the first round, right?
Oh.
Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson all got drafted.
Lamar was like round 2, pick 1. but still.
Hold on. Now I gotta look it up. Doesn't say. What year was that? 2018 draft. Sorry, we're taking a little detour because I need to know. So we got Baker Mayfield, then Sam Darnold, then Josh Allen. Josh Rosen was in there. Lamar Jackson was the last pick.
Oh, it was?
Yes, was the last pick. So all the quarterbacks that were drafted in that draft class, other than Josh Rosen, yeah, studs. I don't know any other quarterbacks that were drafted in that class. I'm not trying to get like Mason Rudolph was drafted in garbage. But yeah, anyway, that just proves my point that that draft class, great. Anyway, sorry for getting off track. Moving on, we got the Patriots versus the Houston Texans. Give me the Patriots, especially if Davis Mills is playing.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking New England.
Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback this year.
So far,
yeah.
For sure.
Then we got the Browns versus the Chargers. You already know who I'm picking. The Browns every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns. I'm confident in this week, even with all the hoopla that's gone on this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it. These are teams I want to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to play teams like the Vikings or, you know, like the Bears or the Texans. I want to play the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Chiefs. I want to play these good teams. You know what I'm saying? Like teams that their name holds weight. Chargers, young, upcoming, not even young, just upcoming good talent. You know? So sign me up every day of the week. Like I said, Browns every day, twice on Sunday. Then we got San Fran versus the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's the MVP this year.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Oh, you're just going to ignore my Kyler Murray being the MVP comment?
Yes.
Is it too soon?
Too soon. It's week 5.
He's been lighting it up, dude. He's been lighting it up. You don't even want to talk about it for like 2 seconds?
No.
Bro, come on. Okay,
Too early. It's too early.
I mean, they hung 38 on the Titans, 34 on the Vikings, 31 on the Jags, and 37 on the Rams.
So 3 out of the 4 teams they played have god-awful defense.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Just say.
Yeah, you're right. But they don't care about that when it comes to MVP votes.
No, I don't.
Then we got Green Bay versus the Bengals. Give me Green Bay because the Bengals can't take that number 1 spot. And I truly don't think they win this game either.
No way. Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay. I have them in the Survivor League too this week.
It's a good game. Maybe I'll pick Green Bay too. I was gonna pick another team, but then we got the Broncos versus the Steelers. The Steelers are a dumpster fire, so give me the Broncos. And Teddy Bridgewater's back.
Yeah, if Teddy B was out, I probably would have picked the Steelers, but
what?
Because Drew Lock is garbage.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say he's garbage.
He's terrible.
He's good enough to beat the fucking god-awful Steelers.
Yeah. But now that Teddy B's back, I'm definitely taking the Broncos.
When is Jerry Jeudy coming back?
Maybe next week, they said. I'm hoping.
Yeah, who knows? And then the next game, we got New Orleans versus Washington. I'm going to take New Orleans, but I feel like this game is going to be closer than expected.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. This one's tough because Washington's got a good D. Heineke's playing pretty well.
Scary Terry's playing good.
Yeah, Scary Terry's playing good. They came back from behind last week to beat Atlanta.
It's Atlanta, though.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to take the Saints. They need to get, what's his name back? Michael Thomas back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Washington.
Okay. I like it. like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins,
Yeah.
And the next game we got the Titans versus the Jags. I'm going to take the Titans, regardless if Julio and A.J. Brown are back.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee as well. They're not going to lose back-to-back weeks against two shit teams.
Yeah. Then we got Chicago versus the Raiders. This was your lock. So give me the Raiders too. Bears just aren't that good, especially with D-Mont out. Yeah. Give me the Raiders. Then we have the Sunday night game, which is my upset, Buffalo over Kansas City. In Kansas City, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo in a shootout. Just because their defense is better than Kansas City's. Kansas City's defense is literally the worst in the league. And how the hell are you going to stop Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs with the worst defense in the league? That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. And then the last game, the Monday night game, we got Baltimore versus Indianapolis. This was going to be the pick I might pick for my Survivor League just because I feel like this is I feel more certain about this. And I don't think I have the Titans, but they scared me last week, dude.
Yeah.
They scared me. So, and I already picked the Packers. So, and every other game is way too close for comfort that I have. So I might pick. Yeah, I'm saying the Ravens are winning right now. That's my pick for this week. But in terms of Survivor League, I don't know. But yeah, give me the Ravens. Especially on prime time, Lamar might go for 3 touchdowns.
I don't want to pick the Ravens. They definitely do have the better team. But I'm not saying it's completely impossible that Indianapolis wins because they can control the ground game and keep Lamar in the pocket with their defense. But I'll take the Ravens just for the sake of not wanting to be wrong and lose a pick and miss a pick this week.
Because if you do, I'm gonna win.
No, I don't know about that.
You already missed that pick with the Washington football team. Those are the only 2 picks that we picked differently. Was
Which
Washington
one?
and Indianapolis.
Oh, I didn't pick Indianapolis. I just picked Baltimore.
Or just Washington.
Yeah.
That's it. We picked the same. Did I say the Giants versus the Cowboys?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, that was your lock.
Yeah, it was my lock, but you're picking the Cowboys, right?
Oh, I'm taking the Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just had to make sure. Yeah, and that's it. The only team that you didn't pick. Oh, boy. It'd be interesting. So, with that being said, if you got anything else to add, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm good.
All right, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Give a shout out to that guy that won the giveaway last week.
Oh, yeah, let me look it up.
What's his name? He's from Conneaut.
Yeah, he's from Conneaut. I didn't know that until he said that he won, but...
What's his real name? Put his social security number on the podcast, too.
His name is Benny, and his Twitter name is @OBJ Comeback Season. Congratulations on winning that hoodie. Like I said, I didn't know he was from Conneaut until he sent me his info to deliver the jersey or the hoodie, which is 10 minutes from where we live. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Congrats to him. And stay tuned for more giveaways, though. We're not done. That was just kicked off.
Shout out to Benny, or OBJ Comeback Season. Maybe we'll give something away for Christmas. Maybe we'll give away a Browns mistletoe to somebody. No, I'm kidding, but no, be on the lookout for a Christmas giveaway, something along those lines. But either way, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in week and week out. We appreciate it. Go Browns, and as always, we'll see you on the other side.